Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is the second of 3 requests for Vonte. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your patience and your kindness. I do appreciate it. And yes, you read the title right. It's the Lord of the G-Strings, the porn parody of Lord of the Rings, of course. I'll say this: I watched this after the Doom Generation, and I like it more than the Doom Generation. I'll say that. So, right moment of time for me. But thank you, Vonte. If anyone wants to request any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, tier lists, rankings, video game playthroughs, random thoughts, live streams, reactions, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box. I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. Now, this has performers like Misty Monday and others, and this is a time when, well, I mean, they still make these type of parodies, but it seems maybe I'm just not in the market, looking voraciously for them. But it feels like they made more back to the day than they do nowadays. And this is also a soft core pornography, put it that way. The type of adult scenes you would see on maybe Cinemax back in the day. Mostly woman on woman, a lot of, touching, licking, with some music that is trying to be, I guess, the Scottish flavor. Because at one point, they literally play obviously it's music from before, but I think of it as the Roddy Piper theme. If you think of Roddy Piper's theme when he comes up to the ring, that plays in one scene. And yeah, I know it was done before Roddy Piper, like, that music's been around for a while, but I can't. But anytime I think of it, I think of Roddy Piper. But that comes later. So when you watch a film like this nowadays, you kind of wonder if there's a point, a room, a reason for this film to go back, revisit for people, or check out for the first time nowadays, because you go on the internet and go on a random site and find much more hardcore stuff, much more in-your-face stuff, much more dot the titties and cross-eye the peeny weenies for these things. Caress the breasts and startle the tits. I mean, it just, whatever phrase or utter phrases you want to showcase in your dirty mind of yours. I guess, honestly, like, stuff like this is kind of fun to see just out of curiosity of what they do. And I'm not even a Lord of the Rings fan, but with this, number one, they had no budget. The costumes look like they stole it from the Ren Fair. Maybe they jacked it, like they went to the bathroom, they stole the costumes from people at the Ren Fair and used it for this. They're in the woods. Whoever's woods, they shot it there. You don't really have a lot of... one or two times they're in a bar or tavern, maybe a little bit more of that, but it's not like outside shots of houses, definitely no castles, definitely no big set pieces or anything. Not really a whole lot of monsters. There's a couple people that kind of look like Nightcrawler from X-Men. Like they're blue, and they got a little bit of teeth, maybe a little bit of ear thing going. There's a couple people like that. I mean, Gollum, he's just a short guy with a mustache. Hell of a mustache, but a mustache. So he's not even any makeup or anything. Just a short little guy. And like I said, it is softcore, so you're not going to see the total full goodies if you're looking for that. And you know what kind of, I mean, the title, number one, you know what kind of film it is. And number two, the main character's named Dildo Saggins. So there you go. Or at least one of the main characters. And the dialogue is, well, yeah, blah, 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 and bisexuals. Well, you know, they're trisexuals, because they'll try anything. So, I mean, that's the dialogue you get with this. And it likes to showcase the women. And hey, the women are good looking. The women are great looking. The women, a lot of times, do get naked. There's a lot of shots of women with their tops off. There's a lot of shots of women playing with each other, one-on-one, or threesome, or 4, 5, 6-some. Yes, Graham's more just kind of licking and touching and caressing and, you know, rubbing. And again, you don't get all the wet, juicy details. But, I mean, this is what some people just had back in the day. I mean, it's funny because I wonder if the generation of today that delve into the world, if they kind of look, if they ever see stuff like this and go, this is what people got into? Like, you don't see the goods, you know, you don't see the you know, you know, you don't see the, you know. It's like, well, yeah, sometimes you just, you know, you plucked what you got. You felt to what you could tap into. Sometimes people were desperate. Sometimes people use, you know, National Geographic magazines. You know, who knows? So we have a lady, you know, having fun with herself. Don't mind the watch. I'm a fan. She has smaller of the titty area, but don't mind it. You know, big is good too. Smaller. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that because apparently that's racist. Even though Axel Foley did that in Beverly Hills Cop. I did that one time. I did this, like, okay, and people said, that's racist. I'm like, Axel Foley did in Beverly Hills Cop. But I guess because some other people a couple years ago did it, and I was racist. Okay. If Axel Foley can do it, I can do it. Anyway. After that, she talks to Smirnoff. That's the older wizard gentleman in the movie. And he is talking about he's a dirty old man. You ever pull the taffy with a 50? I mean, with 100? I mean, with a really old man. Reach into my pocket, and when she does, there's a lot of cartoon sound effects. Bing, boing, ding, dong, she's all born. And eventually these characters are going to go on the search for the G string. Hence the title. Not the ring, the G string. At one point there's a couple chicks dancing on a table to kind of techno music, which I don't know really fits with this kind of film. I mean, yeah, it was kind of techno music. And apparently in these parties, they like to ask people if you're a virgin. And if you are, then the ladies are obliged to change that. I'm like, is that how it was? Well, I mean, this is fantasy, so. I'm like, huh. Maybe if that was their law, people would chill out more. There's a lot of people out there who's pissed off who didn't get laid. And it's like, you know what? If there's some law that's like, as soon as you turn 18, 19, 20, you're allowed to go somewhere and get laid. You get laid once a week. You know, if there's actual that, I think we'd all calm down a lot as a race. You have troubles, go there, you get laid. There's a lot of people get laid, you know, pin up, and then they're ready to explode through their brains. So the effluvia that comes out of their mouth, angsty, pissed off, angry. It's like, well, should have had come out of their dick and they would have been a lot calmer. Or just too tired to bitch about stuff. So she has sex with this virgin guy who looks older than me. And again, it's more, like I said, you don't see the details. With the guy, that's fine. I don't need to see his nuts and berries and his twigs. I don't need to see that. So that's fine. That's the positive. But you don't see a lot of the details of the woman. That's the negative. So this boat just kind of riding and grinding. Sounds like a song, hip hop song, riding and grinding. I mean, just throwing out random stuff. Smirnoff is talking to someone and they make an American Pie reference. Where he's like, when I was at band camp, I showed this weird girl what to do with a flute. I mean, oh, so that's how it came about, huh? There's these two women going at it in the woods. And that's when Roddy Piper's theme starts. And again, to repeat, I know that was before, but yeah, anytime I think of that, I think Roddy Piper would come out. And then this group of people led by General Uptight come by and they decide to watch, ogling. And again, it's, the two women, they're kissing. They love them nipples and all that. But you're not going to see a lot of details. And the movie, in a way, for what it is kind of charming in its stupid silliness and its stupidity. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish I had a bigger budget to be a bit more ambitious and, trying to have some maybe goofy, silly practical effects of monsters and, tried to take more into the IP, more room to make fun of stuff or parody stuff. But instead, it's what can we do that's cheap? Oh, they're having a fight. One guy goes, wait a minute, I lost my contact. Really? Put your glasses on. But I look like an asshole. Come on, put it on. I will admit that kind of made me laugh. I don't know why, but that did kind of make me laugh. And then something happens, and the guy actually stabs the woman who was battling them. And they get her G-string, and it's this evil weapon, and have it destroyed. Actually, no, not by you. So he gives it to a guy who he thinks is gay, but then he gives it to someone to get money. Then there's a scene pops up where this guy's in trouble and this girl has sex with him because they're obligated to go with virgins. And by this point, our main characters, 3 or so, are on the journey with this G-string. And I'm trying to remember. See, I will admit sometimes I was a bit hazing out where the bad guy thought had it, and then somehow the girls got it again, and I already forgot how the fuck that happened, to be honest. But anyway, there's a bit where the characters come up to a girl and goes, oh, that guy's not a virgin. What? Nah, he does this all the time. This is when I did it, and this is when I did it. And the other girl, this is when I did it. And that girl gets pissed at the guy, is chasing the guy, because he got a freebie. The lead, I will say, the lead girl, I kind of liked her, at times, plucky attitude. She seems to really be into it. Saying lines like, man, that bar wench, she was a goer. And I tell you, she definitely has a bit of more of a bi-lesbo flavor to her, and She definitely sees more into the women than the guys in this. And again, there's definitely more women on women action, which I'm not complaining about because I'm a fan. There's a point where there's a lesbo foursome. There's a point where the lead girl gets wounded, and then she wakes up to these two girls who healed her, and she goes, "Man, I finally made it to lesbian heaven." And then they have a threesome to, what's that called? Sitar music? Like music you would hear in India. And I mean, there's a lot of lame stuff. Like I said, Gollum is barely used, and when he's there, he's just a short guy with a mustache. But again, he's barely in the film, barely utilized. I think if you had makeup and this like stuff you could be silly, goofy, laughable with, and maybe possibly come up with some clever jokes or horny jokes with the guy. Maybe that could have maybe did some dumb fun with it. I'm surprised there wasn't as many like sight gags or something of the sort. Some may absolutely despise it, and I don't blame them because I'm not going to sit here and say this is a good movie. It's just one of those films that, I mean, you look at the title, what else are you expecting? But I mean, the jokes, like there's this running joke where one of the evil wizards, he farts. So he's faced off against Smirnoff, and he farts. And he's like, "Steety, steety, steety." And the fart's like a C, not even C, I don't know what, would it be CG? What was some awful effect, like blowing smoke or whatever towards him. And that happens a couple times throughout the film, and it was never funny. Because I just don't think fart jokes are funny, let alone how awful the effects looked on it. Like I said, this is a film that I don't really see anyone needing to watch this, unless it's utter curiosity. Because again, I think the sex scenes, people don't be not wanting. I mean, do people nowadays ever seek out softcore stuff? I don't think so. I don't think anyone. If you search for that at all, so number one, you search for the real thing. And number two, if you don't search for this thing, you would search more hardcore. So softcore, it was not always available for people, and I know sometimes some people watch this stuff just to laugh. And well, again, there's a part of curiosity to me of what they'll do. I just think there's a lot more they could have done with the subject material. I didn't feel like they had nickels and dimes for a budget to utilize on this. And I mean, I think with a group of grown-ups, we could come up with a couple more clever jokes than, oh, the farting wizard, the farting evil wizard, and using that a couple times. I didn't Gollum. They could have done a lot more with that character and among other stuff. Have some cheap, goofy-looking monsters that, you know, talk shit or talk with an attitude or whatever the case. Eventually, they get to where some of them get to where they need to go, and it's just a guy with jeans and a baseball cap. Is this where we're supposed to go? Yeah, you got something for me? They give him the G string, he just drops it, goes back to reading, and then the women go, well, that was anticlimactic. Because then that's the joke of the film. And then this character they met before, she pops in, and they're like, what are you doing here? Oh, the producer says we need more sex. Okay. So then they have a threesome again. Which again, I'm not getting into the sex scenes, it's just kind of just grinding and bumping and grinding and licking nipples. I mean, there you go. Not bad to watch, but you know, it is what it is. Then it shows a celebration, and apparently the lead girl gave a fake G-string. She kept the real G-string. Does it the G-string fits? Wear it, baby. So, okay, this is all for nothing. This is all pointless. The little guy with the mustache, Gollum, gets arrested for stalking, and then it kind of ends there. So, I mean, there are parodies that didn't try to be a bit more. They try to be a bit more ambitious. Go back in the days of Flesh Gordon. Not Flash Gordon, Flesh Gordon. Where they're using stop motion animation and different creatures and special effects. That was ambitious. And there's probably some that are a bit funnier, a bit goofier. Again, what will tantalize people is the title. Again, did I have some fun with it? Sure. Some of the goofy, stupid stuff. And hey, I can't get mad for getting requests for a porn or a porn parody, because let me tell you, they're still more fun to watch than the Doom Generation or some of these other requests I've gotten. So I'll never say no, and whether good, bad, hiney, shiny, or dirty 30s, or squatters of falter altars, I'll be gun ho to watch just because I like the stuff. And no, I don't crank the shaft. I don't jerk in the dirtin and dirt in the jerkin while I watch these, because it'd be awkward to talk to you while doing it. Honestly, that'd be the thought of it. And you don't want to think that either, trust me. And I don't want you thinking that either, unless you're a lady 30 and older. Then you send me pictures. But anyway. One last note is the title. Because this is actually something I would, like playing a video game or doing a live stream. Once in a blue moon I randomly say that. The first time I heard that term and where I got it from was Jason Mewes. He was doing a commentary on Jersey Girl, because that was when Jason Mewes was going through tough times with drugs. He was trying to get sober. That's one of the reasons why he was not in Jersey Girl. It was the first Kevin Smith film he was not in. And since he was getting a bit better and healthier and sober, Kevin Smith and Scott Bozier put him on the commentary for Jersey Girl. And it's actually a fun commentary with the three of them. And the three of them are talking, and they're just talking about stuff, and I forget how I have to listen to the commentary again. But he mentions Lord of the G-Strings, and I think it was that commentary. Now I'm down to myself. I want to say it was that commentary. It might have been another commentary, but I swear it was the Jersey Girl commentary. It might have been another one. But I keep thinking it's that one. On a side note, Jersey Girl is a meh movie, but that actually, the DVD I have, because I like the commentaries on that. The commentaries by Ben Affleck and Kevin Smith, and then Kevin Smith, Scott Bozier, and Jason Mewes, I think are better than the movie. But that's when I gave a shit about Kevin Smith. But yeah. With that said, yeah, I think they could have done a lot more with this. I think they could have been a bit more ambitious, a bit more clever with this. I think there's things that they could have... People who are more knowledgeable on Lord of the Rings... Just when did this come out? What year did this come out? 2003. So at least the first one to come out. Again, it is a 3.7. Yeah, that's justifiable. 3.7 is justifiable. And yeah, it's just hard for you to get mad at titty movies. But, is this necessary watch? No. But yeah, there's a lot more they could have done, and I think they got a bit lazy, bit cheap and lazy with it. It's like if you don't come up with it, put a little bit extra pizzazz in it, you know. Otherwise, you just go, well, there's plenty of titty movies in the city for you and me. Just go over there. You will see. Pay a fee and get a lot of glee from all sorts of wee-wees that I don't want to see. So I'll see the other thing. Tee-hee-hee. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks once again, Vonte. I'll get to your third and last one as soon as I can. Thank you for your patience, man. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.